Hi again, it's Maggie from New Dawn and the Lightworkers Way. I'm just picking my old tarot cards out for a bit of a quick look at what's going on in Australia at the moment with the tariffs that are possibly going to be hit with 25%, which means a lot for Australia because, it could well and truly affect things in this country, especially the economy. So what I wanted to look at was, is this going to be imposed, or will there be a resolution, like an exemption, I guess. I just wanted to have a look because in Australia, I don't want to really get into anything in America because that's really not my thing, but I just wanted to ask the question because if it does affect our country, it's going to make things more expensive in our country. It's sort of going through a crisis with cost of living and all that sort of thing, which probably other countries are too, but I'm here, so that's what I'm thinking of. So I just want to ask the question. Oh yeah, it could be quite a negative. They need to discuss it. They need to work on what's going on. I feel like, here I am, I feel like, there's going to be some sort of exemption, but not going to be eventually what we need to hear. But I feel like there needs to be a really just big discussion about it and something that needs to be pointed out. But at the moment, yes, it sort of wasn't looking very good. There's sort of like a lot of niggles coming from that way. It's all about money. It's really all about money and their profit. And I mean, I know I don't have to be Einstein to tell you that, but that's what's coming up in the cards. It's really all about money and their profit and what they can make for themselves. Well, in the same instance, Australia needs to be able to make money as well. So yes, I do feel like there will be something happen in the near future, but I don't think it will be completely what we want, because it's almost like a tussle about what's going to go on. So there's going to be some real talking that goes on. So yeah, I feel like that we in Australia are going to have to really start looking at penny pinching a little bit, saving some money where you can, cutting costs where you can, getting rid of things that you really don't need in your life this moment, buying wisely when you go shopping, food-wise anyway. For me, that's the message that I'm getting. It's just being a little bit frugal, being a little bit sensible with what you have. You don't have to have... We've grown up, I guess, because I grew up in an era when, like the 70s, the 80s, all the extra that we had that we didn't really need. In the early 70s that I remember, we had things that were made in Australia. We had shoes, clothing, all sorts of things that were actually made in this country. White goods were made here. And then suddenly, over a period of time, all of that went away, all disappeared offshore, which made things, not good quality either. So for me, we became a country of excess. We've got, as much as we really wanted, I suppose, and I'm guilty of that too. But the thing is to pare it back now. I don't need 20 pairs of shoes, all that sort of stuff. It's about quality rather than quantity. So I think we've got to get back to those values, get back to that simplicity when you just... you didn't need to buy extra of everything. Just buy what you need. Don't fill your cupboards up with food every fortnight. Do a smaller shop and use what you have in your cupboards, in your fridge, in your freezer. Do all that sort of stuff and really pare it back, because I'm doing that now. I've become really aware of where I can save money. And part of that is not stocking up completely the house when buying thing after thing and not even looking in the cupboards properly. So now that's what we are doing, and that's a better way for me to shop. But for us as a country, I feel like there will be problems, but I do think clearly it's all about money, but I do think there needs to be some serious talking going on, but it will be better a little bit down the track. But we also need to help ourselves. Fight for what you need in your life, but don't buy into the excess anymore, because that's not what Australia's about. Australia was always a great country to live in. It was about community, it was about people. That sort of has all changed now. It's all about me, me, me. It's about trying to protect ourselves from the violence that's come here. There's so many things that are different in this country that I grew up with, and I know that makes you sound really old. Oh, it was better in my day, but it actually was. I don't remember as much violence, like on the street sort of violence. I mean, you've always had trouble and you always had your nutters around, but now it's a lot worse. And I feel like, in capital cities where you feel like you should be able to shut your door and be safe, well, that's sort of not happening anymore. Well, it's not happening. So we need to regain our country. We need to regain our respect for each other, and we also need to regain our care for each other, neighbour, looking after each other, that sort of thing. And that's really what needs to happen. We need to not be split. We need to forget about politics and all that sort of rubbish, because that's part of the problem. Politics and religion are two of the worst things on the planet, because they divide people. They actually create a lot of problems if you don't agree. And when they talk about things like that, you feel like you have to shut up and say nothing, because you don't want to get into an argument with people. What we need to do is look after each other. Look after your finances, your own personal finances in your family. If you're a single person, look after your finances and shop smart, because we do have excess. And as I said, I'm guilty of it also. But I feel like, we need to tighten our belt a little bit, because there are going to be a few problems. But I think it's going to work out in the long run. But it's going to take time. It'll be a few months away before it sort of really gets settled and sorted out. In the meantime, we need to look after ourselves as a family, as our friends, and really look at what we have, not what we haven't got and we want. Look at what you have. And I'm not talking about stuff. I mean, everyone, you have to have a couch to sit on or whatever. Have a look at what you have in your life, your people that you care about in your life, your family. If you don't have family, friends in your life, even a pet, that's so important, to have somebody that loves you and that you love as well. So I think that's my message for today, is to really look at those things, because I do believe that things I'm not one for doom and gloom. I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to be really bad and all this sort of stuff, because I'm not a fortune teller. That's not what I do. What I see are possibilities that can happen, but it's also up to us. We have free will. Everybody has free will. Unless they're in prison or something like that. And, even then they have a certain amount of free will, I imagine. What we have to do is look at the choices that we can have made, with what messages we get. Make your choices to make your life better, lead a better life, be a better person. And that doesn't mean anyone's a bad person. It just means we can all learn. We can all look at things that we can do to make it better, make the world better. But again, we can't control the world. We can only control our patch, your family, my family, our area, our friends, all of that sort of stuff is all we can do. And I've started doing that, because I don't want to be divided. And I feel like the world is being divided, and I think that's terrible, because it takes away from humanity. Humanity wasn't meant to be like that. It was meant to stick together, to look after each other. In times of crisis, when you have like a natural disaster or stuff, that's when you see good humanity come out. And that's what we need to be. So I'm not going to lecture you. I don't want to lecture you. That's not what I'm here for. But I was asked the question and I wanted to get the answer. But I see it's going to be okay. But I see there's a little bit of nastiness going on, and there's going to be a lot of talking to get through this. But it is all about money. It's not about, goodwill or anything like that. It's completely all about money. And someone else, controlling the narrative. But I do believe that we're in control. We need to be the vigilante for our own life. We need to change things for our life. So anyway, that's what I got from my cards. I hope that was inspiring. You take it or you leave it. As I said, any little bit helps. I look at a lot of different readers online, and I feel that everyone's valid in their own way. I think that if you're meant to hear it and you choose to look in on something, even if it's one sentence that you take away from that, it's valid. If it makes you a better person, because none of us are perfect. We might think we're perfect, but we are not. If it makes you a better person by listening to someone with some inspiration or some wisdom, that's a great thing. So that's enough from me today. I'm going to leave it right there. I like you. Remember that. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.